At the doctor's office, Yu is shocked by an ultrasound revealing a stunning medical anomaly.
Gu Feng is revealed as a cold-hearted man who once chose another over his current partner.
An intense, silent confrontation between Yu and Gu Feng highlights their long, painful history. Tension boils over into a physical confrontation as Yu expresses his deep-seated anger and betrayal.
The scene shifts to the clinical quiet of ultrasound room B, signaling a permanent change.
Yu desperately questions the doctor, hoping the ultrasound on the screen is a terrible mistake. Despite his disbelief, Yu insists his condition isn't possible, while the doctor maintains a professional stance. A heavy silence falls as Yu looks down, struggling to process the life-altering news he received. The doctor shows Yu evidence that his rare condition has occurred in other men before. Confused and overwhelmed, Yu's cartoonish reaction reflects the sheer absurdity of his medical diagnosis.
Yu pleads with the doctor for a surgery to remove the unexpected burden he carries.
The doctor's somber expression confirms that the requested operation is unfortunately not a possibility. Feeling isolated and small, Yu sits alone, haunted by the daunting medical path ahead of him. Standing before a luxurious villa, Yu stares at the medical papers, dreading his final conversation. His frustration boils over with a sudden, sharp crash sounding as he ruins the diagnostic report. Stepping inside the villa, Yu's dejected posture reveals the heavy emotional toll he is enduring. Gu Feng waits inside, his cold and demanding greeting immediately setting a tense, hostile tone. Showing zero concern for Yu's well-being, Gu Feng dismissively lights a cigarette in the room. Gu Feng heartlessly demands to know when Yu will finally pack up and leave. Yu curls up on the sofa while Gu Feng coldly extinguishes his cigarette, ending their discussion. Gu Feng explains that his true love is returning, requiring Yu's immediate and silent departure. Yu mockingly suggests Gu Feng buy another villa for his lover, further escalating the argument. Heartbroken, Yu asks if 5 years of devotion truly meant nothing to the man he loved. Gu Feng's cold, unblinking gaze confirms his total lack of remorse for their shared past. Bitter laughter escapes Yu as he clutches his head, realizing how foolish he was to stay. Feeling like a discarded toy, Yu laments his years spent as a mere substitute for another. Gu Feng looms over Yu, coldly inquiring if their 5-year relationship is finally finished. Masking his internal agony with a fake smile, Yu confirms that they are truly over. Yu suddenly takes control, grabbing Gu Feng's tie and pulling the cold man closer. Yu proposes a final, intimate night together as a farewell to their long-term relationship. Holding Gu Feng close, Yu resolves to use this last bittersweet opportunity to his advantage. Gu Feng gazes down with an unreadable expression, the air thick with tension and desire. Without another word, Gu Feng sweeps Yu off his feet and carries him away. As Gu Feng loosens his tie, Yu admits he still finds the villainous man undeniably attractive. Internally, Yu struggles with his conflicting emotions, wishing he could simply hate the man. A sudden, firm pull sounding occurs as Yu yanks the tie to initiate their final night. Tears fall silently as Gu Feng leans over Yu, marking the tragic end of their time. A cheerful Chibi Yu celebrates with his cat, finding a brief moment of joy amidst chaos. Morning light fills the room as Yu wakes up alone in a large, empty bed. Clothes scattered on the floor serve as a silent reminder of the emotional night before. Yu's hand reaches across the cold, deserted sheets, searching for a warmth that is gone. Lying in the quiet room, Yu reflects on his wasted years and the cruel men involved. Yu's eyes fill the frame, reflecting a newfound resolve to move on and survive.
A hairdryer whirs as Yu gets ready, humming a quiet tune to distract from his pain.
Checking his reflection, Yu declares himself perfect, refusing to let heartbreak ruin his spirit. A surprised Chibi Yu reflects on his past, momentarily distracted by the uncertainty of the future. Taro, the adorable ginger cat, looks up at his human with wide, curious eyes.
Yu pets Taro, recalling the many heated arguments he had with Gu Feng over the pet.
The cat leaps away with a soft landing, leaving Yu alone and ready to depart. Taro's playful curiosity leads to a quick push and roll sounding of a marker. A pale hand in an orange sleeve catches the rolling marker before it falls. Yu Baoyuan smiles mischievously, his eyes bright with a secret and playful new plan. Yu uncaps the marker, drawing energetic and swooping lines across a clear glass surface. After pocking Taro, Yu celebrates his escape with a triumphant and cheerful Chibi pose. Suitcase in hand, Yu sprints away from the villa, shouting about his new freedom. Chibi Yu runs joyfully with Taro tucked safely inside a small white backpack. Yu's celebratory mood shifts to a heavy sigh while checking his smartphone screen. Stunned, Yu looks at his smartphone, which displays a measly bank balance of $250. On a park bench, Yu sadly tells Taro they can no longer afford cat food. While Yu eats instant noodles, a boy nearby begs his mother for a cat.
The mother drags her son away, demanding he finish his examination papers instead. A heavy silence falls as Yu stares blankly, haunted by a painful, sudden memory.
A flashback reveals a younger Yu sitting somberly by his mother's clinical hospital bed.
His mother weakly urges him to live well alone as a ripple signifies her passing.
Tears stream down Yu's face as he claims the instant noodles are simply too spicy. Yu hides his weeping eyes behind his arm, still blaming the heat of the noodles.
With a final, determined pull sounding, Yu drags his suitcase away from the bench.
A sudden, sharp beep sounding startles Yu just before disaster strikes on the dark road.
Yu lies motionless on the ground, his body sprawled near his loyal ginger cat.
Chibi Yu laments his terrible luck, clutching his head as blood drips onto the floor.
A worried man in a suit, Butler He, looks down at the injured Yu Baoyuan.
Yu's eyes flutter open, revealing a thick white bandage wrapped around his forehead.
Butler, he informs Yu that he has finally woken up following the frightening car accident. Butler, he explains that he followed Yu and brought him back after the collision. Despite his injuries, Yu thanks Butler He but insists on finding a new house immediately.
Yu's gaze shifts to the cold man, Gu Feng, standing across the luxurious room.
Gu Feng is shown carrying another man, Chen Lining, with a protective, distant gaze. A tight close-up focuses on Yu's bandaged eyes as he recognizes the man in suspenders.
Gu Feng carries Chen Lining toward the sofa, ignoring Yu's presence in the room.
Gu Feng stares ahead with a piercing look, his cold demeanor remaining completely unchanged.
Lining blushes in Gu Feng's arms while Gu Feng coldly asks why Yu hasn't left.
Butler He nervously explains Yu's accident while Yu mocks the pair of dogmen.
Gu Feng ignores Yu, requesting the doctor examine Lining's foot on the living room sofa. A close-up shows the doctor's hands carefully inspecting Chen Lining's bare, injured foot.
The doctor reassures them that the injury is minor, recommending simple safflower oil.
Gu Feng demands the oil immediately, his focus entirely on the man in his lap. Chen Lining gazes up at Gu Feng, claiming he is fine despite his blushing face. Gu Feng scolds Lining for acting tough when his body is clearly so weak.
A disgusted Chibi Yu feels nauseous watching the couple's sickeningly sweet display of affection.
Gu Feng's sharp, unyielding gaze shifts as he addresses Butler He with a demand. Butler hesitates, gently reminding Gu Feng that Yu Baoyuan is still badly injured. Gu Feng cold-heartedly declares he has nothing to do with Yu anymore.
Looking smug, Chen Lining suggests letting Yu stay, claiming he isn't that stingy.
Gu Feng affectionately touches Lining's nas, promising to listen to his every word. Chibi Yu's cartoonish reaction reflects his intense desire to vomit at their romantic display. Gu Feng begins to stand up, his expression hardening as he prepares to depart. A wide view shows the room while Gu Feng's eyes flash with sudden surprise. A drawing of a turtle appears on the glass, mocking Gu Feng's stern reflection. Well, that's one way to leave a parting gift.
Gu Feng grits his teeth in silent fury, his jaw tensing as he processes the insult. Gu Feng questions Yu's absence from work while Chibi Yu scoffs at the thought.
Yu cross-examines the propriety of returning to his former assistant role under current circumstances. Gu Feng coldly reminds Yu of his contract and the steep cost of early termination. Chen Lining clings to Gu Feng, mockingly urging him to show mercy to poor Yu. Gu Feng looks down with a piercing gaze, questioning if Yu truly deserves any pity. Gu Feng heartlessly claims he never forced Yu to follow him for the past 5 years.
Yu reflects on 5 years of unrequited devotion met only with Gu Feng's frozen indifference.
Desperate for peace, Yu agrees to return to work as a ripple marks his resignation. Gu Feng carries Chen Lining away while Yu feels a sharp sting of formal distance. Gu Feng offers Yu a room for 6 months, though his tone remains transactional. Yu rejects the offer, expressing his disgust at the couple's nauseating display of affection. Gu Feng dismisses Yu with a cold stare, telling him to do as he pleases. Outside the massive Gu's company building, Yu laments the heartless nature of his employer.
A sudden sharp bam sounding echoes as Yu slams his desk in financial frustration. Anna enters the office, cheerily questioning Yu about his recent sick leave and health.
Yu dismisses her concerns while Anna subtly mentions his chrysanthemum over a cup of tea.
Leaning in, Anna whispers a sudden, quick inquiry sounding about Yu's harshness toward Mr. Gu. Yu warns Anna to stop her accurate guessing as she knows far too much. A sudden, loud whir sounding alerts Yu to a call from Gu Feng, labeled a turtle.
Yu answers the phone, only to be met with Gu Feng's demanding and arrogant tone. Gu Feng demands his lunch while Yu suggests his new lover should handle the cooking. After hanging up, Yu wonders if Gu Feng's sudden demands are due to actual illness. With a final, firm top sounding, Yu ends the call and prepares for the inevitable. At his workstation, Yu is hounded by aggressive messages from Gu Feng demanding his meal. Yu stares at his screen with exhaustion, flatly stating he has no time for Gu. Gu Feng sends a final imperious command for you to report immediately to his office.
Chibi Yu huffs with annoyance, feeling the weight of the man's constant, selfish demands.
Standing in the grand office, Yu faces Gu Feng, who demands to know about lunch.
Gu Feng's chibi form laments Yu's newfound heartlessness following their messy and painful breakup. Yu threatens a dramatic exit from the 18th floor rather than cooking for the man.
A close-up shows a hand reaching out, signaling a shift in the power dynamic.
Gu Feng cruelly dangles Taro by his neck, using the cat to blackmail Yu.
A devious smirk plays on Gu Feng's lips as he holds the helpless kitten hostage.
Yu screams in silent fury while Gu Feng smirks, enjoying his successful and cruel coercion.
Despite his visible rage, Yu vows to give Gu Feng a meal he won't forget. At the market, Yu gleefully selects the cheapest, most damaged produce for Gu Feng's lungs. Yu laughs mischievously while hoarding a pile of tomatoes for his vengeful culinary plan.
A brief moment of silence precedes the chaos brewing in the kitchen's quiet atmosphere.
A sudden, loud sizzle sounding fills the air as Yu begins frying his suspicious ingredients.
Yu prepares to douse the meal in excessive amounts of salt and pungent mustard. A devilish chibi Yu cackles while adding ruinous amounts of seasoning to the pan. Masking his spite with a fake teary smile, Yu declares the vengeful meal finally finished. Yu presents a spread of unappetizing dishes, cheerily inviting Gu Feng to enjoy his lunch. Gu Feng stares at the steaming, purple-hued food with a look of deep, suspicious concern. A sudden, heavy bam sounding occurs as Gu Feng slams his hand onto the table.
Gu Feng aggressively seizes Yu's chin, accusing the man of becoming increasingly spoiled and defiant.
Gu Feng demands to know if this mess is truly the lunch Yu prepared.
Yu defends his hard work while internally delighting in the man's obvious and justified disgust. A devilish chibi Yu admits he narrowly avoided adding actual pesticides to the sabotaged meal.
Gu Feng's eye narrows in fury as Yu's hand rests casually near the table's edge.
Gu Feng seizes Yu Baoyuan's chin, his aggressive posture escalating the room's tension.
Gu Feng coldly accuses Yu Baoyuan of becoming increasingly spoiled and unmanageable lately. Unintimidated, Yu Baoyuan mockingly thanks Mr. Gu for the insult, showing no fear. Yu Baoyuan emits a quiet sk sounding before firmly grabbing Gu Feng's shirt collar. A sudden, sharp slap sounding follows as Yu Baoyuan strikes Gu Feng's stunned face.
Gu Feng stares intensely, stating that Yu Baoyuan's defiance is becoming increasingly annoying.
Yu Baoyuan calls Gu Feng shameless for his aggressive attempt at an intimate discipline.
Yu Baoyuan lets out a heavy highs sounding, already plotting his next defiant move.
Chibi Yu Baoyuan looks smug as Gu Feng remains frozen following the surprising slap.
Gu Feng mockingly questions if Yu Baoyuan truly values himself enough to feel regret.
Yu Baoyuan warns Gu Feng that the time for any future regret is over. Declaring himself noble, Yu Baoyuan dismisses Gu Feng like an annoying, buzzing fly. Gu Feng is left stunned by Yu Baoyuan's newfound courage and wolf-like spirit. Yu Baoyuan boldly promises to pay back any attempt Gu Feng makes to ruin him.
With a final humph sounding, Yu Baoyuan leaves, followed by a loud bam sounding.
A heavy silence falls as Yu Baoyuan reflects on his current, complicated life situation. Yu Baoyuan arrives at the villa, carrying a bag and his unwavering determination. Inside, Yu Baoyuan keeps Taro tucked safely away within his small white backpack. Yu Baoyuan is genuinely surprised to find that Gu Feng has returned so early.
Gu Feng coldly orders Yu Baoyuan away, announcing that Chen Lining is cooking today.
Yu Baoyuan mockingly praises Chen Lining's culinary skills after hearing the announcement.
Gu Feng defends Li Ning's efforts while Yu Baoyuan responds with a quiet humph sounding.
Chaotic bam and clang sounding noises from the kitchen signal Li Ning's disastrous cooking. Chibi Yu Baoyuan and Taro stare in wide-eyed shock at the kitchen catastrophe. Gu Feng shouts Li Ning's name in alarm as the kitchen sounds grow frantic. A kitchen fire erupts, forcing everyone to scramble while Yu Baoyuan watches them. Playfully unbothered, Chibi Yu Baoyuan asks Taro if they have snacks for the show. The resulting meal is a terrifying purple sludge accompanied by twitching raw shrimp.
Yu Baoyuan realizes that Chen Lining's toxic dinner is essentially a lethal, unpalatable weapon.
Gu Feng attempts to force Yu Baoyuan to be the first to taste the disaster. Yu Baoyuan adamantly refuses, flatly stating his life is more important than that meal. Chen Lining plays the pitiful victim, sadly admitting his cooking skills are still bad.
Gu Feng gently reassures Li Ning, suggesting that butler he can teach him more later. Chibi Yu Baoyuan pokes the dark, suspicious fish with a sudden, quick touch sounding.
Chen Lining identifies the dish as vinegar sauce fish, addressing Yu with feigned sweetness.
Chen Lining insists that Yu Baoyuan taste the fish and offer his culinary suggestions. Reluctantly, Yu Baoyan uses his chopsticks to sample a small piece of the food. Yu Baoyuan refuses to eat, but Chen Lining begs him to take one bite. Gu Feng demands Yu Baoyuan show respect to Lining by finally tasting the meal.
Yu Baoyan stares down at the steaming, poisonous-looking sludge with deep, justified dread.
Yu Baoyuan immediately gags as Chen Lining accuses him of being intentionally humiliating.
Yu Baoyuan freezes, wondering if his nausea is caused by something more than food. Chen Lining tearfully weaponizes his fake sorrow against Yu Baoyuan in front of Gu. An annoyed chibi Yu Baoyuan fumes at Lining's scheming behavior while feeling nauseous.
Gu Feng's gaze sharpens with a sudden and deep suspicion toward the situation.
The focus shifts to the chopsticks lifting another questionable morsel from the disastrous dish. Gu Feng aggressively commands Yu Baoyuan to open his mouth and eat the meal. Gu Feng ignores Lining's feigned concern, focusing entirely on forcing the food on Yu. Yu Baoyuan firmly blocks the chopsticks, flatly refusing to consume the toxic culinary mess. Losing his patience, Gu Feng lets out a fierce shout, demanding Yu Baoyuan obey.
Chen Lining urges Yu Baoyuan to eat, hoping to avoid further conflict with Gu Feng.
Yu Baoyuan inwardly fumes, seeing through Chen Lining's provocative attempts to fuel the tension.
Chen Lining looks away with a hidden smirk, plotting to crush Yu Baoyuan's self-esteem.
Gu Feng demands Yu Baoyuan eat, but Yu's stubborn refusal leads to a messy confrontation.
Losing his temper, Yu Baoyuan shouts as he smashes the fish into Gu Feng's face. A sudden, loud bam sounding echoes as Yu Baoyuan's orange sneakers stomps onto the floor. Yu Baoyuan storms out with a humph, leaving Gu Feng seated and covered in food. Leaving the mess behind, Ga Feng stares ahead with a cold and deeply resentful gaze. Sickened by the situation, Yu Baoyuan vomits as a sudden, loud ver sounding begins.
Yu Baoyuan answers Anna's call and receives 2 demanding tasks involving the upcoming charity party.
Frustrated, Yu Baoyuan realizes Chen Lining is actively trying to erase his presence from work.
Taro the kitten looks up with wide, innocent eyes, sensing Yu Baoyuan's distress and anger. Yu Baoyuan comforts Taro, appointing the cat as his room's fierce protector against Gu Feng. Taro holds a toy cleaver while the scene shifts to a grand, glittering charity gala. Dressed in a purple suit, Yu Baoyuan arrives and wonders why Gu Feng is missing.
Mr. Gao approaches Yu Baoyuan, curiously questioning why the man is attending the gala alone.
Yu Baoyuan politely explains that Gu Feng is running late due to a prior business meeting. Mr. Gao subtly pries into rumors regarding the recent fallout between Yu Baoyuan and Mr. Go. Yu Baoyuan realizes gossip travels fast but maintains his composure while complimenting Mr. Gao's perception. Mr. Gao offers his help with a smile, though his intentions seem far from genuine. Yu Baoyuan laughs off the offer, noting that Gu Feng's disdain is a well-known fact.
Despite Mr. Gao's insults about his replacement, Yu Baoyuan smiles, claiming to have thick skin.
The conversation is interrupted by the sudden appearance of a blonde man named Mr. Liu. Mr. Gao quickly shifts his attitude, showering Mr. Liu with forced praise for his talents. Mr. Liu smiles warmly at Yu Baoyuan, asking to join their seemingly interesting conversation. Nervous, Mr. Gao dismisses their previous talk as nothing more than trivial chores and gossip. Yu Baoyuan mockingly thanks Mr. Gao for his marital advice, citing the man's 3 previous wives.
While Mr. Gao seethes, Mr. Liu winks playfully at Yu Baoyuan during the awkward exchange.
Visibly flustered by the mockery, Mr. Gao makes a hurried excuse to leave the 2 men.
Yu Baoyuan watches the older man scurry away while Mr. Liu remains standing behind him.
Mr. Liu smiles kindly, asking Yu Baoyuan how things have been going since their college days.
Yu Baoyuan sighs with closed eyes, tiredly claiming that his life couldn't be any better.
Recalling their shared past, Mr. Liu reaches out and gently pats Yu Baoyuan on the head. Chibi Yu Baoyuan playfully scolds Mr. Liu for touching his hair and ruining his stylish mousse. Mr. Liu laughs, promising to let Yu Baoyuan remain handsome for the rest of the dinner. Smiling with confidence, Yu Baoyuan agrees that his beauty has always been his strongest asset. Gu Feng arrives at the gala, his face darkening as he spots the 2 men together. From across the room, Gu Feng watches the intimate interaction with an increasingly jealous expression.
A close-up reveals Gu Feng's piercing stare as he focuses intently on Yu Baoyuan's cheerful behavior.
Gu Feng fumes, comparing Yu Baoyuan's public friendliness with his recent defiance in the fish incident. Yu Baoyuan finally notices Gu Feng's presence and calls out to him with a surprised look. Gu Feng coldly dismisses Yu Baoyuan, ordering him to move along as they enter the party. An announcement rings through the hall, signaling the official start of the charity dinner party. Yu Baoyuan finds his seat, while Gu Feng sits nearby, remaining silent and visibly annoyed.
Yu Baoyuan thinks Gu Feng's sour expression makes the charity event feel more like a funeral.
A grumpy chibi Gu Feng crosses his arms, radiating a thick aura of irritation and silence.
Yu Baoyuan attempts to break the tension by offering Gu Feng a glass of red wine.
A sudden, loud sounding occurs as red wine splashes across Gu Feng's dark suit jacket.
A waiter panics over the mess while Gu Feng stands, looking down at his stained clothes.
Gu Feng tells Yu Baoyuan to wait there while he heads upstairs to change his clothes. Yu Baoyuan sits at the table while Gu Feng looms directly behind him.
Gu Feng coldly orders Yu Baoyuan to retrieve a spare shirt from his car.
Chibi Yu Baoyuan fumes, finding Gu Feng's constant, arrogant demands to be incredibly annoying. Yu Baoyuan enters the locker room carrying the change of clothes for Mr. Gu.
A sudden, sharp squeak sounding occurs as Yu Baoyuan slowly opens the locker room door.
Inside, Gu Feng stands shirtless, revealing his toned and well-defined muscular physique to Yu. Yu Baoyuan begrudgingly admits Gu Feng's body is impressive despite his deeply scummy personality. Gu Feng catches Yu Baoyuan staring and impatiently demands he hand over the spare shirt. Flustered, Yu Baoyuan coughs and denies watching, hiding his obvious blush behind his hand. Gu Feng aggressively confronts Yu Baoyuan about his overly friendly interaction with Liu Yang.
Yu Baoyuan maintains his professional distance, insisting they keep their personal lives completely separate.
Gu Feng demands to know the meaning behind Yu Baoyuan's closeness with Liu Yang. Yu Baoyuan defends his right to converse with his humble university classmate, Liu Yang.
A sudden, loud bam sounding echoes as Gu Feng aggressively pins Yu against the wall.
Yu Baoyuan finds himself momentarily distracted by Gu Feng's hot and brawny chest muscles.
Gu Feng smirks, mockingly asking Yu Baoyuan if his body is nice to touch.
Gu Feng questions if it is appropriate for his assistant to mingle with rival executives.
Gu Feng pushes Yu Baoyuan, aggressively questioning his definition of inappropriate public behavior.
Gu Feng accuses Yu Baoyuan of intentionally trying to provoke his anger during this time.
Yu Baoyuan asserts his personal freedom to talk to whoever he pleases regardless of Gu. Losing control, Gu Feng pulls Yu Baoyuan into a sudden and forceful, intimate embrace. A muffled sounding escapes as Gu Feng forcefully kisses a shocked Yu Baoyuan. A sudden, sharp slap sounding rings out as Yu Baoyuan strikes Gu Feng's face.
Yu Baoyuan warns Gu Feng that he will no longer tolerate any sexual harassment.
With a fierce gaze, Yu Baoyuan vows to follow through on his harsh threats. Yu Baoyuan leaves with a final humph, followed by a loud, bam-sounding door. Left alone in the quiet room, Gu Feng stands in contemplative, heavy silence.
Gu Feng remains alone in the locker room, reflecting on the heated confrontation.
The scene shifts back to the gala hall as Gu Feng returns in a thute. Gu Feng sits with a dark expression, while Yu Baoyuan remains stony-faced beside him. A female guest notices the red mark on Gu Feng's face and asks what happened. Yu Baoyuan sarcastically claims Gu Feng is just blushing with excitement for the charity. Gu Feng lets out an annoyed tsk sounding, seething at Yu Baoyuan's mocking explanation. Yu Baoyuan's gaze turns distant as he reflects on the growing tension between them.
The focus narrows as Yu Baoyuan tries to regain his composure at the table.
An announcement thanks the XX group for their donation and signals a dinner break. Chen Lining informs the group that he is leaving the party immediately. Yu Baoyuan watches Lining leave while Gu Feng remains seated in cold silence. Yu Baoyuan curiously asks Gu Feng why his annoying baby is departing so early. Gu Feng explains that Chen Lining is departing for a half-month training in Germany.
Yu Baoyuan is genuinely shocked to learn about Li Ning's sudden departure for abroad.
Gu Feng demands Yu Baoyuan be more tolerant and help Li Ning upon his return. Chibi Gu Feng tells Yu Baoyuan to dream on as they continue their argument.
The scene transitions as the group prepares to attend a private group meeting.
Yu Baoyuan looks surprised as a waiter approaches with a tray of drinks. The waiter politely offers a glass, and Yu Baoyuan accepts with a grateful smile.
Yu Baoyuan takes a sip of the drink, pausing as something feels unusual.
Realizing he shouldn't drink alcohol, Yu Baoyuan asks for a glass of hot water. The waiter appears strangely tense while quickly fulfilling the request for hot water.
Yu Baoyuan gratefully accepts and sips the glass of hot water provided.
Yu Baoyuan coughs violently as he realizes the drink he just consumed was incredibly strong.
Closing his eyes in pain, Yu Baoyuan continues to cough from the burning alcohol sensation. Gu Feng watches with a puzzled expression, wondering what caused his assistant's sudden, intense reaction.
Gu Feng approaches and places a hand on Yu Baoyuan's shoulder, concerned by his persistent coughing.
Yu Baoyuan fumes with annoyance, spotting the boring guest still lingering nearby at the party. A finger dips into the spilled liquid and brings it to a mouth to test it.
Gu Feng realizes the drink was high-purity vodka, explaining why Yu Baoyuan is reacting so strongly.
While a guest slips away, Gu Feng stays behind to ask if the flushed Yu is okay. Visibly intoxicated, Yu Baoyuan struggles to focus as his face turns a deep, drunken shade of red. Gu Feng looks down in concern as he recalls Yu Baoyuan's behavior at a previous annual meeting.
The memory shows Yu Baoyan drinking an entire bottle of wine, earning praise for his capacity.
In the present, a dizzily smiling Yu Baoyuan sways while holding a bottle of wine. A coworker is shocked as Yu Baoyuan grabs a microphone to begin an embarrassing drunken performance. Completely uninhibited, Yu Baoyuan lifts his shirt and announces he will sing a song called Drunken Butterfly.
An exasperated Chibi Gufeng sighs with closed eyes, feeling completely defeated by the embarrassing scene.
Gufeng decides the night is over, firmly telling Yu Baoyuan that he is taking him back.
Yu Baoyuan refuses to leave, so Gufeng hauls the protesting man onto his back for transport.
Gufeng carries Yu Baoyuan through the hall, ignoring the mocking comments from the other guests.
Outside in the cold, a clinging Yu Baoyuan suspiciously asks Gufeng where he is being sold.
Yu Baoyuan playfully pinches Gufeng's cheeks while demanding to be taken home in the snow.
Yu Baoyuan sadly mutters that he has no home, causing a sudden, heavy silence from Gufeng.
Staring ahead into the snowy night, Gufeng firmly promises that Yu Baoyuan will have one.
Yu Baoyuan demands to hear a story, but Gufeng initially refuses the drunken man's annoying request. Yu Baoyuan whispers a request for a specific story, his close proximity causing Gufeng to sweat.
Gufeng tells Yu Baoyuan to be quiet, noting that they have almost reached the car. Yu Baoyuan fails to recognize Gufeng, pulling on the man's face while complaining about being silenced. Drunkenly admiring Gufeng's features, Yu Baoyuan suggests he would make a very successful street lady. Yu Baoyuan finally identifies Gufeng, loudly labeling him a scumbag and a bastard in the snow.
Gufeng seethes as a chibi Yu Baoyuan leads an imaginary crowd in chanting against him.
Reaching the car, Gufeng struggles to load the uncooperative and yelling Yu Baoyuan into the seat.
A chibi Yu Baoyuan throws a tantrum on a cat-patterned background, demanding to walk instead.
Gufeng looks back at the stubborn man, pointing out that it is currently snowing outside.
Gufeng begrudgingly offers his back again, sighing about his bad luck as Yu Baoyuan prepares to jump. Clinging to Gufeng's back, Yu Baoyuan happily notes that the man smells quite good.
Gufeng carries the quieted man down the snowy street, the earlier chaos replaced by heavy exhaustion.
Yu Baoyuan tearfully recounts how no one in the world remembers or celebrates his birthday anymore.
Hearing the pain in the man's voice, Gufeng promises to accompany him for his birthday.
Yu Baoyuan tearfully asks why Gufeng bought Chen Lining an expensive cake but remains stingy toward him. Gufeng realizes he never thought Yu Baoyuan needed care, listening as the man begs for a greeting.
Sobbing, Yu Baoyuan asks why Gufeng is so generous to Lining while bullying him so desperately. Yu Baoyuan claims he will leave forever, warning Gufeng that he will never find him again.
Gufeng offers to give Yu Baoyuan a birthday this year, but the man accuses him of lying.
Yu Baoyuan pinches Gufeng's face while crying, convinced that everyone is just waiting to throw him away.
Gufeng denies the claim as Yu Baoyuan wonders why he doesn't have a family like others.
Gufeng stares ahead in silence while Yu Baoyuan wonders if he will die alone and forgotten. A close-up of Gufeng's eyes reveals a flicker of deep, silent contemplation regarding Yu Baoyuan's words.
A sudden nauseous blur sounding occurs as the intoxicated Yu Baoyuan prepares to vomit on the street.
Gufeng helps Yu Baoyuan sit on a bench, asking if he feels the need to throw up.
Gufeng gently rubs Yu Baoyuan's stomach, deducing that the strong alcohol has caused the man discomfort.
Yu Baoyuan lets out a soft moan, resting with his eyes closed against the cold park bench.
Yu Baoyuan is caught in an intimate, lingering kiss as snowflakes drift around them.
Ginkgo leaves frame a silent, poignant moment between the two men in the cult.
Gufeng sits on a bench, supportively cradling the drowsy Yu Baoyuan in his arms.
Looking down at the sleeping man, Gufeng softly promises that Yu is truly wanted.
Yu Baoyuan sleepily calls Gufeng a bastard, and the CEO patiently allows the scolding.
Clutching Gufeng's leg, the sleepy assistant mutters a final insult before drifting off.
Gufeng carries the sleeping Yu Baoyuan through the snowy street toward a car.
Gufeng carefully settles Yu Baoyuan into the seat and covers him with blankets.
The quiet, snowy night passes, giving way to a bright and clear morning sky.
Birds chirp on a tree branch as the scene shifts to the villa's estate.
Yu Baoyuan descends the stairs, looking refreshed but curious about the events of yesterday.
Sitting alone on the sofa, Yu Baoyuan wonders what happened while he was drunk.
A chibi Yu Baoyuan regrets his drinking as Uncle He enters with his breakfast.
Uncle He greets Yu Baoyuan, bringing a tray with breakfast items to help him recover.
The breakfast tray contains a bowl of warm soup and a slice of cake. Uncle He encourages Yu to eat and mentions a meal for the sleeping Mr. Gu.
Yu Baoyuan accepts the tray, nodding as the butler discusses the morning's quiet routine.
Yu Baoyuan carries the tray to the bedroom and tentatively opens the door handle.
Inside the room, Yu Baoyuan sees Gufeng still buried deep under the bedsheets. Yu Baoyuan stands by the bed looking down at the sleeping CEO with annoyance. With a sudden movement, Yu Baoyuan aggressively yanks the blankets off the sleeping man.
Gu Feng wakes up startled, demanding to know why Yu is bothering him so early.
Yu Baoyuan sternly informs Gu Feng that he is only there to call him for breakfast.
Gu Feng groggily rubs his hair, still dazed by the sudden and loud wake-up call. Caught off guard by Gu Feng's brawny physique, Yu Baoyuan blushes and looks away.
Yu Baoyuan calls Gu Feng shameless for sleeping without a shirt in his presence.
Gu Feng teases the assistant's blush, prompting a fierce threat from a chibi Yu.
Yu Baoyuan tells Gu Feng to wash up as he prepares to leave the room.
Walking away with a red face, Yu Baoyuan ignores Gu Feng's amused, shirtless gaze.
Gu Feng sits on the bed, watching Yu Baoyuan leave with a thoughtful expression.
Gu Feng reflects on the previous night, remembering Yu Baoyuan's vulnerability in the snow.
Gu Feng remains in silent contemplation, his eyes narrowing as he considers the man's words.
Gu Feng makes a call, ordering a detailed investigation into Yu Baoyuan's personal history. Later, Yu Baoyuan sits in an office discussing his health with a female doctor.
The doctor questions Yu about his alcohol consumption, making him feel rather uncomfortable. Yu Baoyuan confirms his drinking while feeling the weight of the doctor's intense stare.
The doctor suggests a brain checkup for Yu, much to the assistant's growing annoyance.
Yu Baoyuan snaps at a nearby man, telling the fool to leave them alone.
The brown-haired man looks hurt while the doctor continues her stern medical advice.
A chibi Yu stands firm as the dejected man walks away from the desk. Yu Baoyuan apologizes to the doctor, promising he will never drink alcohol in the future.
The doctor asks if Yu's lover is coming, unaware of his complicated personal life.
The doctor criticizes his absent husband, causing Yu Baoyuan to look down in sadness. Yu Baoyuan quietly reveals that his husband is currently in prison, shocking the doctor.
Yu Baoyuan insists it's fine, claiming he will wait for the man's eventual release.
A chibi doctor is moved to tears by Yu Baoyuan's perceived devotion and loyalty. Yu Baoyuan walks down the hospital corridor alone, lost in his own conflicted thoughts. A sudden voice calls his name, causing Yu Baoyuan to stop and look back. Gu Feng's relative sister Gu Ying appears wearing a red coat and black hat. Gu Ying mockingly asks Yu if his life is okay after being dumped by Gu. Gu Ying hurls cruel insults at Yu Baoyuan, accusing him of having a dirty illness.
Yu Baoyuan sternly warns Gu Ying to watch her words while they are in public.
Gu Ying mockingly compares Yu's integrity to Li Ning's, claiming her brother dumped a loser. Fuming with silent rage, Yu Baoyuan finds the comparison to Li Ning absolutely ridiculous and insulting.
Yu Baoyuan dismisses the prejudiced woman, telling her to go find Li Ning instead of arguing.
A sudden, firm pull sounding occurs as Gu Ying grabs Yu's arm to stop him. Yu Baoyuan shakes her off, defending his health and calling out her embarrassingly low IQ.
Gu Ying gasps in shock, feeling insulted by Yu Baoyuan's blunt assessment of her intelligence.
Yu Baoyuan walks away with a smirk, leaving Gu Ying to her own reflections.
A quick, rhythmic top sounding follows as Gu Ying dials Li Ning to report the encounter. Gu Ying complains about the bastard Yu to Li Ning, who coldly promises to handle him.
At the office, Anna delivers documents to Gu Feng, who tells her to work elsewhere. Gu Feng's eyes widen in surprise as he begins reviewing the investigation into Yu's past. The CEO stares intently at the files, uncovering long-hidden secrets about his former assistant's life.
Gu Feng discovers a childhood photo of a naive, adorable Yu Baoyuan holding a teddy bear.
A flicker of soft contemplation crosses Gu Feng's eyes as he stares at the young boy.
Gu Feng reflects on how innocent Yu once looked, a sharp contrast to his current bitterness.
Gu Feng uncovers an old social media post revealing Yu's desperate struggle for his mother's medical bills.
The post describes a tragic accident and the heavy financial burden Yu shouldered alone years ago.
Stunned by the revelations, Gu Feng sits in heavy silence, clutching the evidence of Yu's hardship.
A soft, rhythmic puff sound occurs as Gu Feng exhales cigarette smoke while pacing his office.
Gu Feng leans over his balcony, spotting a familiar figure sitting alone by the park fountain. Looking down from the height, Gu Feng watches Yu Baoyuan quietly eating on a lonely bench. Yu Baoyuan sits on the wooden bench, focused on a simple bag of bread and juice.
Yu Baoyuan answers a call from Gu Feng, who abruptly invites him out for dinner tonight.
Yu Baoyuan rejects the invitation, accusing the lonely CEO of being crazy while Li Ning is away.
Despite the rejection, Gu Feng watches Yu from above, determined to take him to dinner.
Gu Feng insists on the meal, telling Yu that he will be waiting for him tonight.
Yu Baoyuan is confused by the persistence, while Gu Feng laments the man's stubborn, cold meals. Gu Feng instructs Anna to handle the evening's teleconference so he can leave work early.
Anna is left speechless and overwhelmed by the sudden workload her workaholic boss dumped on her.
Gu Feng waves a casual goodbye as he heads out to meet the man on the bench.
A chibi Anna despairs over her fate, wishing she could prepare for her own metaphorical funeral.
The afternoon sun shines over the park as Gu Feng approaches the unsuspecting Yu Baoyuan.
Yu Baoyuan remains oblivious to the approaching CEO, quietly sipping his juice in the park.
Gu Feng's eyes narrow with focused intent as he closes the distance between them. The grand fountain sprays water into the air, framing the quiet scene in the sunny park. Gu Feng suddenly appears behind the bench, startling Yu Baoyuan mid-bite as he turns around. A sudden, sharp cough sounding occurs as Yu Baoyuan chokes on his bread in sheer surprise.
Gu Feng places a steadying hand on Yu's shoulder, questioning his hurried and messy eating habits.
Flustered, Yu Baoyuan demands to know why the CEO has abandoned his office during working hours.
Gu Feng claims there is no more work, prompting a skeptical look from a Chibi Yu. With a calm and simple confirmation, Chibi Gu Feng brushes off the assistant's lingering doubts. Gu Feng snatches the bread away, insisting on taking Yu to eat a much better meal.
Yu Baoyuan struggles to reclaim his snack, telling Gu Feng to go bother his lover instead.
Gu Feng commands obedience while promising a high-end French dinner to the protesting man.
Stubbornly refusing the offer, Yu Baoyuan shouts for Gu Feng to return his simple bread. Gu Feng remains silent and serious, his gaze shifting to a specific detail on Yu's neck.
Gu Feng reaches out and touches the scar on Yu's neck, asking about the old wound. Gu Feng recalls the abuse Yu suffered, while Yu dismisses the scar as an old tattoo trace.
Gu Feng leans in for a lingering, intimate kiss on Yu Baoyuan's neck.
Chibi Yu Baoyuan pushes Gu Feng away, questioning the man's sudden erratic behavior. Gu Feng pulls the assistant close again, ignoring his protests with firm, silent resolve.
Gu Feng carries Yu Baoyuan through the restaurant, promising to feed him properly tonight.
A polite waiter greets the pair, leading them toward a private dining table. Yu Baoyuan remains skeptical of the CEO's intentions as they prepare to order dinner.
Staring intently at Gu Feng, Yu Baoyuan asks if he has fallen ill today.
Gu Feng denies the accusation with a stoic, unreadable expression on his handsome face.
The waiter stands by as the two men settle into their high-end French dinner.
Yu Baoyuan decides to order the most expensive items to make Gu Feng suffer financially.
The waiter is stunned by Yu Baoyuan's massive order of luxury dishes and wine.
Yu Baoyuan focuses on his plan to bleed Gu Feng's wallet dry during dinner. Gu Feng watches with an amused smirk as the assistant feels a sudden chill. Gu Feng encourages the man to keep ordering, dismissing any concerns about the bill.
Startled by the lack of reaction, Yu Baoyuan slams the menu shut, ending his order.
Gu Feng questions if the assistant is truly finished with his extravagant food choices.
Yu Baoyuan huffs in annoyance as the waiter rushes off to prepare the feast.
A lavish spread of lobster, oysters, and steak is soon delivered to their table.
Yu Baoyuan stares at the mountain of expensive food, feeling overwhelmed by his own orders.
A sharp knife slices through a tender, juicy piece of steak on the plate. Gu Feng offers a bite to the stunned assistant, insisting that he try it.
Yu Baoyuan hesitantly accepts the food, his eyes widening at the rich, savory taste. Chewing the delicious steak, Yu Baoyuan realizes that expensive meals really are superior. Gu Feng finds the eating man's happy, glowing expression far more adorable than usual.
Wiping his mouth, Yu Baoyuan refuses to stay with Gu Feng because of lining.
Gu Feng coldly promises that lining will not be an issue for their arrangement.
Yu Baoyuan demands to know why the CEO changed his mind about throwing him away.
Gu Feng questions how the man expects to survive alone with such poor health.
Yu Baoyuan grows suspicious, wondering if Gu Feng has discovered his secret medical struggles.
Gu Feng insists his intentions aren't malicious, urging the man to stop being so stubborn.
Gu Feng gives an ultimatum. Yu can leave, but the cat, Taro, must stay. Yu Baoyuan is outraged by the catnapping, suggesting they let the animal choose its owner. Gu Feng threatens to involve lawyers to claim ownership, leaving the assistant fuming.
The CEO presents the final choice: move out alone or live with the cat. Backed into a corner, Yu Baoyuan agrees to live together under very strict conditions. Gu Feng listens intently, allowing the man to voice his requirements for their cohabitation. Yu Baoyuan demands a formal lease and insists on paying rent at market value.
Gu Feng agrees to the business-like arrangement with a simple, calm confirmation.
A sudden phone call from Mr. Meng interrupts their conversation, drawing Gu Feng's attention.
Gu Feng spots Mr. Meng waving from across the room, much to his surprise.
The general manager, Meng Menglong, approaches their table, remarking on the unexpected coincidence.
Yu Baoyuan recognizes the man as the desperate suitor from the hospital.
The group realizes that Gu Ying is currently on a date with the spiky-haired manager.
Meng Menglong begs Gu Feng to take the clingy Gu Ying home immediately.
A chibi Yu Baoyuan smirks, sensing a very entertaining story unfolding between the two.
Gu Ying flirtatiously offers wine to the sweating manager, ignoring his obvious discomfort.
Gu Feng sternly orders his relative to leave the restaurant and head home.
Gu Ying protests the command, wanting to finish her dinner with the handsome manager.
Gu Feng remains unmoved, repeating his order for her to leave the premises now.
With a grumpy huff, the dejected woman prepares to follow her cousin's strict demand.
Gu Feng watches as Gu Yang turns to walk away with a lingering glance.
A close-up reveals Gu Ying blowing a flirtatious kiss with literal heart eyes.
Gu Ying leaves while Gu Feng and Meng Monglong watch her departure from afar.
Gu Feng apologizes to the sweating manager for the constant trouble his cousin causes.
Gu Feng promises to help resolve the marriage contract between Meng and Gu Ying.
Meng Monglong laments being ignored for a month before the scene shifts to night.
The brown-haired man asks about Mr. Meng while they walk through the park. Gu Feng identifies the man as Meng Monglong, general manager of Zongtian Construction.
Yu remembers the name and asks if Meng is actually engaged to Gu Yang.
Chibi Yu is stunned, having assumed Meng and Dr. Bai were actually a couple. From an aerial view, the two men prepare to get into a white SUV. Inside the car, Gu Feng explains the marriage was an arrangement by their parents. Gu Feng reveals that while Meng refused, Gu Ying is satisfied with the arrangement.
Gu Feng explains that family jealousy makes resolving the contract difficult for men currently.
Yu reflects on the family drama and wonders about Meng's true relationship with Dr. Bai.
Gu Feng suddenly slams on the brakes outside a bright, fancy cake shop.
A close-up shows Gu Feng's hand firmly shifting the car's gear into park.
Startled, Yu asks why they stopped as Gu Feng tells him to wait and send.
Yu watches from the car as Gu Feng walks back carrying a white bag. Gu Feng leans in and hands the bag to a very confused Yu Baoyan.
A close-up reveals a cute cake box decorated with cherry and bear stickers. Yu questions the expensive gift, but Gu Feng insists he treat it as dessert. Yu wonders why the CEO is suddenly being so kind and suspects mere sympathy.
Gu Feng denies the accusation with a cold, direct look at the brown-haired man.
Chibi Yu demands to know the motive, while Chibi Gu Feng tells him to relax. Yu suggests that Gu Feng might be feeling guilty for dumping him so cruelly.
Gu Feng tells Yu to shut up and just accept the gift kindly offered. A focused shot of the CEO's mouth emphasizes his firm, brief command to stop talking.
Yu calls out to the silent CEO as they drive through the dark city.
Yu insults Gu Feng's emotional intelligence, comparing his stubbornness to that of a dog.
Yu Baoyuan boldly claims the CEO simply refuses to admit he still feels love. Gu Feng reacts with a stern, wide-eyed silence to Yu's blunt and daring assessment.
Yu accepts the cake as compensation for mistreatment while setting strict future boundaries.
A close-up shows the CEO's hand gripping the steering wheel as he drives on.
Gu Feng stares ahead with a stoic expression, processing the man's harsh but truthful words.
Yu peeks into the back, his eyes widening and mouth watering at the treat.
The box opens to reveal a beautiful cake topped with strawberries, kiwi, and cherries.
Tossing his pride aside, Yu tastes the sweet cream and looks genuinely delighted. Chibi Yu sternly reminds himself not to be softened by Gu Feng's expensive charity.
The scene shifts to a grand villa where a butler greets the returning Meng.
Meng Monglong asks the butler if there were any important phone calls for him today.
The butler pauses to think, recalling one specific call that came into the house.
The butler describes a suspicious prize-winning scam call from a group called Black Bull.
Chibi Meng Monglong looks utterly exhausted and unimpressed by the ridiculous scam report.
Dejected, Meng walks up the brand staircase while the butler offers a polite farewell. The spiky-haired man enters his dimly lit room, framed by the bright hallway light. Meng approaches his desk where a photo of a bespectacled man glows on the screen.
Meng gently touches the monitor, confessing how much he misses the man in the photo. The scene shifts to the city as Yu answers a call regarding delivered documents. Yu is asked to buy roast duck from a new restaurant during a sale.
Yu Baoyuan arrives at a shop named Made a Duck, looking for a simple meal.
Entering the shop, Yu Baoyuan orders 2 roast ducks to take home for dinner.
The shop owner, Liu Yang, freezes in shock as he recognizes his old classmate.
Liu Yang stammers over the name before Yu Baoyan correctly identifies himself to the man.
Curious about the shop, Yu Baoyan asks if his old friend opened the business himself.
Liu Yang winks flirtatiously while confirming that he is indeed the one making ducks here. While Chibi Yu is confused by the phrasing, Liu Yang proudly boasts about his profession. Liu Yang grabs Yu's collar, complaining loudly about a message that went unanswered for years.
Learning the account was stolen, Liu Yang realizes why Yu's profile was posting such scandalous content.
Feeling deeply embarrassed, Yu Baoyan asks the sandy-haired man to delete the old contact information.
Liu Yang asks about Yu's current employment, learning that he works at the Gugurk.
Liu Yang smiles brightly, considering Yu's assistant's position far superior to his own duck business. Yu Baoyuan suggests they exchange new contact information to stay in touch as old friends.
Leaning in close, Liu Yang suggests they skip the formalities and upgrade their relationship instead.
Liu Yang grips Yu's shirt, hinting that they should spend more intimate time together now.
A close-up of Liu Yang reveals his sudden refusal to exchange simple phone numbers.
Yu Baoyuan stares in complete silence, baffled by the strange and sudden change in Liu Yang.
Chibi Liu Yang bursts into theatrical tears, begging Yu to join him for afternoon tea. Clinging to Yu's arm, Liu Yang insists they go out together immediately, despite the shop.
Liu Yang explains that business is slow at noon, allowing them to leave the store.
Seated at a cafe, Liu Yang asks Yu how his life has been during their separation.
Yu Baoyuan describes his life as ordinary while expressing some worry about his future path.
Liu Yang leans forward, curiously asking if Yu Baoyuan is still living a single life.
Closing his eyes with a weary sigh, Yu Baoyuan confirms that he is indeed alone.
Chibi Liu Yang teases Yu about his long-term bachelorhood, making light of the situation.
Yu Baoyuan defends his romantic history, explaining that he only recently ended a relationship.
Liu Yang pokes Yu's cheek while playfully demanding to know who his ex-boyfriend was.
Resting his head on his hand, Liu Yang listens as Yu begins to tell his story.
Liu Yang is furious to hear that Gu Feng bullied and dumped his old friend.
Keeping a calm expression, Yu Baoyuan claims that the breakup was not a serious matter.
Liu Yang scolds Yu for being far too generous and forgiving toward a man like Gu Feng. Clenching his fist, Liu Yang offers to help Yu Baoyuan teach the cruel CEO a lesson.
Yu Baoyuan insists on avoiding any further drama with his ex-lover to find some peace.
Chibi Liu Yang decides that splitting from the blind Gu Feng was the best possible move. Liu Yang pulls Yu into his lap, inviting him to a party this coming Sunday. Liu Yang cheers joyfully with heart eyes while Yu remains seated on the man's lap.
Liu Yang asks Yu if he knows the specific theme chosen for the upcoming party.
Liu Yang whispers the provocative theme into Yu's ear, causing the brown-haired man to blush.
Inside an elevator, Yu Baoyuan reads a text from Liu Yang about dressing up well.
The elevator reaches the 30th floor as Yu Baoyuan prepares to return to his office.
Stepping out, Yu Baoyuan accidentally walks straight into someone's firm, broad chest.
Looking up, Yu Baoyuan finds Gu Feng staring down at him with a very stern look.
Gu Feng notes the long duration of Yu's delivery trip with an air of cold suspicion.
Gu Feng leans in, demanding an explanation for the 2 hours spent away from the office.
Yu Baoyuan dares the CEO to fire him if his work schedule is such a problem.
Gu Feng stares intensely, repeating his question about Yu's activities during his long absence.
Chibi Yu finds the interrogation strange, especially since he was technically working on a delivery.
Yu Baoyuan explains he met a friend and bought a roast duck while he was out.
Yu Baoyuan tells the black-haired CEO that his personal business is none of Gu Feng's concern.
Gu Feng grows jealous as Yu orders him to move out of the way immediately.
Gu Feng's hand firmly grips the front of Yu Baoyuan's plaid shirt in the elevator.
Gu Feng pins Yu against the elevator wall while threatening him with a cold glare.
Chibi Yu kicks Chibi Gu Feng in the groin as yellow ducks float around.
Yu scolds the doubling over CEO, telling him to seek medical help for his behavior.
Gu Feng orders Yu not to interfere with Anna's responsibility for the loot projects.
Stunned by the command, the brown-haired man asks the black-haired CEO if he's jealous.
Gu Feng mocks the idea of being jealous, questioning Yu's arrogant sense of self-importance.
A close-up captures Yu's narrowed, unimpressed eyes as he stares at the arrogant CEO. Gu Feng leans in close with a smug smirk, asking Yu if he likes him.
Gu Feng dismissively compares Yu to Chen Lining and tells him to roll there.
Yu pulls on Gu Feng's tie with a confident, knowing smile on his face. The two men lock eyes in a tense, intimate standoff within the silent elevator.
Yu's face flushes as he leans toward the CEO during their heated confrontation.
Chibi Yu pushes the black-haired CEO away, demanding that he keep his distance immediately.
Yu reminds the CEO of their short contract and his impending freedom from the arrangement.
Gu Feng huffs and turns away as Yu prepares to leave the office area.
Anna greets Yu warmly as he returns to his desk in the assistant's office.
Yu prepares a drink while Anna watches him from her workstation across the room.
Chibi Anna expresses her deep affection for Yu while blowing him a tiny heart.
Chibi Yu waves his hand dismissively, reminding his female colleague not to tease him.
Anna informs Yu that his aunt called the office while he was away on delivery. Anna explains that the family called the office since his phone was unreachable.
Yu looks down at his cup, processing the news of his aunt's persistent calls. Anna asks Yu about the situation, noting that his aunt seemed very angry.
Yu waves goodbye to Anna, insisting he will solve the complicated family matter himself.
Yu checks his mobile phone and sees several missed calls from his persistent, angry aunt. A close-up shows 5 missed calls from aunt on the mobile phone's glowing screen. Yu answers the phone and listens as the call connects with a soft toot.
Standing by a window, Yu confirms to his aunt that he hasn't paid this month.
Yu's aunt threatens him with his father's death to extort more money from him.
Yu refuses to support his abusive father, rejecting his aunt's cruel demands for family money.
Yu tells his aunt that he finds the family shameful and refuses to pay anything.
With a cold smirk, Yu ends the call on the touchscreen of his mobile phone.
Yu curses his blood-sucking relatives, vowing to live his life without their greedy interference.
Night falls as Yu stands outside the starter's bar near a sleek red car.
Liu Yang appears stylishly dressed in a dark blazer, greeting Yu with a bright smile.
Yu looks surprised, questioning why Liu Yang is wearing such an elaborate, fancy outfit.
Chibi Lu Yang strikes a pose, boasting that everyone recognizes his incredible natural beauty.
Lu Yang points to the sleek red car, asking Yu for his honest opinion.
Chibi Lu Yang confesses that the car is rented to help them look successful.
Lu Yang turns the question back on Yu, curiously commenting on his casual choice of clothing.
Yu stretches while defending his casual style before Lu Yang leads him into the bar. Inside the club, a shirtless man performs on a pole under vibrant disco lights. Lu Yang asks a stunned Yu if he is dumbfounded by the lively scene. Lu Yang explains the wild theme of the meeting while Yu looks on bewildered.
Chibi Yu finds the atmosphere of the club to be quite nasty and overwhelming.
Chibi Lu Yang encourages Yu to enjoy the many high-quality men at the party.
Muscular, shirtless men perform on stage, drawing attention from the excited crowd at the bar.
Yu smiles as he tells the blushing Lu Yang that people shouldn't live to death.
Lu Yang admits he is easily attracted to men while Yu looks on with curiosity.
Lu Yang encourages Yu Baoyuan to find a better man among the party guests.
Lu Yang points out a handsome blonde man sitting alone at the bar counter.
A black-haired waiter arrives with 2 glasses of red wine for the friends.
Yu Baoyuan surprises everyone by asking the waiter if the bar serves cereal instead.
Chibi Lu Yang spits out his wine in shock at Yu's ridiculous drink request.
Lu Yang scolds his friend for wanting breakfast food during a wild night out.
The waiter offers his great-grandmother's high-calcium oatmeal as a substitute for the cereal.
Chibi Yu and the waiter happily agree on the oatmeal while Lu Yang sulks. Yu explains his inability to drink alcohol is due to a very special condition.
Lu Yang stares intently at Yu, trying to decipher the meaning behind his words. Lu Yang's eyes widen as he notices someone approaching their table from the bar.
Chibi Lu Yang panics and grips Yu's shirt as the blonde man draws closer.
The blonde man, Lu Ji, surprises the group by greeting Yu Baoyan by name.
Confused by the sudden familiarity, Lu Yang asks if Yu called the stranger over.
Yu clarifies the situation by introducing Lu Ji and his classmate, Lu Yang.
Chibi Yu finds the similarity between the 2 men's names to be quite amusing.
Lu Yang blushes and looks away, feeling shy in the presence of the newcomer.
Lu Ji offers a friendly handshake to Yu's classmate to introduce himself properly.
Lu Yang enthusiastically lists his height, weight, and relationship status during their first meeting. Feeling embarrassed by his outburst, Lu Yang hides his face while Yu explains things.
Yu Baoyuan introduces his classmate while explaining the specific characters in their shared names.
Lu Ji smiles warmly at Lu Yang and asks about his current line of work. Chibi Lu Yang is completely charmed by the handsome man's polite and gentle demeanor.
Yu observes the subtle, pleasant atmosphere developing between the 2 men at the club.
Lu Ji excuses himself to return to his friend while the others wave goodbye. Chibi Yu pinches Lu Yang's cheek to snap him out of his romantic gaze. Lu Yang declares his instant love while Yu expresses shock at the sudden confession. Yu Baoyuan encourages the stylishly dressed Lu Yang to pursue and seduce Lu Ji. Yu narrows his eyes with a knowing look as he shares his romantic wisdom. Lu Yang blushes and defends his lack of experience in such fast-paced romantic encounters. Yu Baoyuan pushes his hesitant friend forward, insisting that now is the perfect time. Yu's attention is caught by something unexpected happening near the bar area.
Lu Ji is seen talking to another man while Yu watches from a distance.
Yu warns Lu Yang that another man is already trying to win Lu Ji's attention.
Lu Yang freezes in shock as he watches a rival approach his new crush. The other man walks away disappointed while Lu Yang remains paralyzed by his indecision. Yu Baoyuan smiles as he considers the best way to handle the romantic competition. Checking his phone, Yu realizes it is late and his cat needs to be fed. Yu sends a final message explaining his departure before heading toward the club's exit. Yu Baoyuan steps out of the starters bar alone into the quiet night air.
Yu stops walking as a dark car pulls up directly in front of them. Gufeng stares from the driver's seat, asking Yu if his night out is over.
Surprised by the CEO's sudden appearance, Yu asks if he has been followed tonight. Gufeng ignores the question and sternly orders Yu to get into the car. Gufeng insists on driving him home while the assistant stands his ground outside. Yu refuses the ride, claiming he is perfectly capable of taking a taxi home. Gufeng warns Yu to stop resisting while Yu stubbornly rejects the unwanted help. Turning his back on the CEO, Yu huffs and begins walking away alone.
Gufeng looks frustrated as he watches Yu ignore him and continue down the street.
Yu Baoyuan walks away with a grim expression as the CEO follows in his car.
Yu continues walking away as the persistent CEO follows closely behind on the sidewalk. Gufeng suddenly hoists Yu over his shoulder, ignoring his angry demands for release.
Gufeng throws Yu into the car and pins him down, silencing his protests. Tensions boil as Yu demands answers while Gufeng prepares to drive him home.
Night falls as the car merges into the busy city traffic under the streetlights.
A heavy, unspoken anger settles between them as they stare ahead in the car. Yu questions Gufeng's behavior with a sharp, suspicious look from the passenger seat.
Gufeng mocks Yu's social life, questioning his need to constantly seek out men.
Chibi-Yu is baffled by Gu Feng's jealousy over his visit to the bar.
Yu defends himself, insisting his presence at the bar was completely normal and innocent.
Gu Feng points out the nearby hotels, accusing Yu of having more than drinks planned.
A close-up captures the CEO's mouth as he continues his aggressive, jealous interrogation.
Gu Feng leans in, threatening to resume their physical relationship if Yu remains defiant.
Yu struggles against Gu Feng, reminding him of his commitment to Chen Lining.
Yu tells Gu Feng to get lost, refusing to be treated like a toy.
Gu Feng's eyes flash with anger as he dares Yu to repeat his words.
Yu looks back coldly, declaring he has completely given up on their dead-end relationship.
Gu Feng suddenly embraces Yu, hiding his face in the man's neck in silence.
Yu pushes him away, ordering the CEO to stop messing with his feelings.
Looking out the window, Yu firmly tells Gu Feng to go back by himself.
Morning sun hits the Gu Group skyscraper as Yu arrives for another workday.
A colleague greets Yu cheerfully as he walks into the bright, modern office space.
Yu gets some coffee while asking the light brown-haired Chen Lining about his training.
Chen Lining smiles brightly, claiming his training was successful and asking for future advice.
Yu tells Chen Lining to vacate his seat before they discuss any work tasks.
Yu dismisses Chen Lining's babyish behavior, telling him to get lost and find help elsewhere.
Chen Lining looks frustrated, silenced by Yu's cold and professional rejection of his antics.
Yu hands over a rough plan, ordering Chen Lining to finish it within 5 hours.
Chen Lining looks down at the documents in shock, realizing the difficulty of the task.
Yu tells Chen Lining to do something practical or leave if he lacks the ability.
Chen Lining walks away with a look of pure irritation after being challenged by Yu. Yu calls out to Chen Lining, questioning what else he wants from him now. Yu lectures Chen Lining on maintaining a professional tone as the president's assistant. Chen Lining grits his teeth, his face contorting with a flash of suppressed anger.
Gu Feng enters the office while Chen Lining immediately puts on a sweet, fake smile.
Gu Feng asks the light brown-haired man how his recent training in Germany went.
Chen Lining lies, claiming the training was strict but very helpful for his growth.
Gu Feng moves to hand in information while Yu focuses on his own work. A close-up captures Gu Feng's sharp, calculating eye as he observes the office dynamics. An assistant informs Gu Feng that Chen Lining spent his training time traveling instead.
Chen Lining winks at Yu, confidently claiming that Yu cannot cause him any trouble.
Yu looks at the submitted draft, telling Chen Lining the entire thing must be rewritten. Chen Lining is stunned by the blunt criticism, unable to believe his work was rejected.
Yu suggests that if Chen Lining can't hear, he should visit a hospital.
Yu points out the failures in format and layout within the poorly prepared document. Yu bluntly states that Chen Lining has failed to show any actual professional ability.
A close-up shows Chen Lining gritting his teeth in a moment of pure, silent rage.
Yu stands his ground, asserting that his criticism is based on facts, not insults. Chen Lining's eyes well up with fake tears as he plays the victim again.
Chen Lining bows and apologizes profusely while Chibi-Yu looks on, bewildered by his act.
Lining bows to Yu while Gu Feng watches the tense office interaction from the doorway.
Yu looks down with a cold, unimpressed gaze at his junior's performative submission.
Gu Feng's presence looms as the office atmosphere crackles with impending conflict.
Sitting with arms crossed, Yu bluntly tells the bowing Lining to stop his annoying displays. Lining plays the victim, but Gu Feng steps in to defend him against Yu's strictness. Lining offers a fake smile, claiming he is learning much from Yu's harsh demands.
Gu Feng tells the younger man to relax, casting a disapproving look toward a defiant Yu. Chibi Lining continues his act, pretending to appreciate the good in Yu's constant scolding.
Gu Feng demands more tolerance for Lining, but Yu privately considers a more violent solution. Yu challenges Gu Feng's favoritism, asking if he truly cares about the quality of work. Lining apologizes again, but Yu remains completely unmoved by the man's shallow corporate theater. Yu's fingers rest firmly on the subpar document, signaling a point of no return.
Yu exposes Lingning's manipulative behavior, refusing to be played for a fool in his office.
Standing firm, Yu's professional demeanor masks the growing irritation he feels toward his coworkers.
Gu Feng scolds Yu for being unreasonable while Yu calls out the CEO's obvious partiality.
Lining continues his humble act while Yu prepares to dismantle the man's professional credibility. Yu holds the papers, his skepticism toward Lining's alleged training growing with every page.
Yu openly questions if Lining ever actually attended the corporate training sessions he claims.
Yu bombards the silent Lining with complex technical questions that the junior assistant cannot answer.
Yu mocks Lining's intelligence, suggesting a formal IQ test might explain his professional failures.
Yu reveals he knows Lining's scheme to isolate him by bribing the other assistants.
Yu confidently asserts his authority, reminding Lining that the staff remains loyal to him.
Lining attempts a sarcastic compliment, but his frustration is evident in his narrowing eyes.
Yu smugly confirms his own competence, leaving Li Ning with no room for further excuses. Yu places a hand on Li Ning's shoulder, delivering a final, icy lecture on workplace reality. The two men stand apart, a massive gulf of professional and personal enmity between them. Yu reaches out to adjust Gu Feng's tie, offering a sharp reminder about maintaining standards. Turning his back on both men, Yu coolly announces his departure for a lunch break. Yu waves a dismissive hand, mockingly calling the two men babies as he exits. Alone at home, Yu checks his phone and sees a notification from his aunt. Answering the call, Yu listens as his aunt urgently demands that he return home.
A sudden, sharp meow sounds as Yu's orange cat, Taro, demands his owner's attention.
Yu gently pets the affectionate Taro, momentarily finding peace in the cat's simple company. A warm memory surfaces of a younger Yu receiving a birthday gift from his parents. The young boy's eyes sparkle with pure, untainted joy as he holds his birthday present. Returning to the present, a shadow of sadness crosses Yu's face as the memory fades. Yu exhales a soft sigh, holding his beloved cat close while lost in his thoughts. Suitcase in hand, Yu asks the gardener Uncle He if Gu Feng has returned yet. Yu requests to borrow a car, and Uncle He tells him the keys are ready. Taro meows loudly in the garden, sensing that his owner is preparing to leave again. A quick, insistent meow sounds as the orange cat hops onto Yu's arm in protest. Yu gently scolds Taro for being disobedient, though his touch remains incredibly soft and kind. Yu explains his short trip to Taro, promising the cat he will return very soon. Uncle He expresses concern for the cat, but Yu explains he cannot take him along. Taro's claws sink into Yu's shirt as the cat desperately tries to stay with him. Yu gazes at his pet with a bittersweet smile, pained by the cat's obvious attachment.
Back at the office, a receptionist stops Gu Feng to hand him a forgotten package.
Gu Feng accepts the delivery, agreeing to bring the package to Yu later that day. Sitting in his car, Gu Feng notices multiple missed calls from both Yu and Li Ning. Gu Feng answers a call from Li Ning, who asks him to visit his villa tonight. Gu Feng drives his car while confirming a mysterious meeting over the phone. A close-up captures the CEO's stern expression as he abruptly disconnects the call. Gu Feng slams on the brakes to avoid hitting a distracted man crossing the street. A loud screech echoes as the car stops dangerously close to the pedestrian. Gu Feng exhales in relief, sweat beading on his forehead after the near miss. The CEO's eyes widen in shock as he notices something on the passenger floor. Gu Feng looks back at a package that spilled over during the sudden stop. Reaching for the items, Gu Feng's confusion grows as he examines the contents. A note reveals pregnancy nourishment supplements sent to Yu from a man named Bai Shangsheng. Gu Feng seethes with jealousy, convinced Yu has made a woman pregnant. Frustrated by a disconnected number, Gu Feng's anger reaches a boiling point. Gu Feng storms into the villa, loudly demanding Yu Baoyuan's immediate appearance. Uncle explains that Yu borrowed a car and left earlier that day. Gu Feng assumes Yu is hiding a guilty conscience by fleeing the city. Uncle He reveals that Yu likely returned to his family's old house. Determined to confront him, Gu Feng tries calling Yu again without success. Gripping the wheel, Gu Feng vows to find Yu regardless of where he hides. Yu arrives at a traditional house marked by funeral wreaths for his father. A relative greets Yu with backhanded compliments about his success and expensive clothes. Yu ignores the woman's disdain, focused only on paying his final respects. Standing over his father's body, Yu coldly severs their bond for the afterlife. A somber silence fills the room as Yu faces the finality of death. Taro the cat peeks out from Yu's back, offering a small, inquisitive meow. Relatives watch Yu from a distance, their true intentions hidden behind fake smiles. The aunt invites Yu to dinner, her expression dripping with manipulative sweetness. At a crowded table, a young boy takes a sudden interest in Taro. The boy loudly demands to play with the cat, pointing an insistent finger.
The aunt encourages her son's spoiled behavior, ordering Yu to hand over Taro.
A joyful wee sounds as the boy lunges toward the orange cat. Yu protectively shields Taro as the boy tries to grab the cat's tail. Yu firmly warns the boy to stay away from his temperamental pet. The spoiled child screams, insisting he has the right to play with Taro. Yu refuses to back down, sparking an argument with his entitled relatives. Yu sharply mocks the aunt's logic, refusing to be bullied by his elders. An uncle tries to force a blind date on Yu to secure his wealth. The uncle insists on familial bonds to hide his greed for Yu's success. Yu openly exposes their scheme to trap him for his hard-earned fortune. Tensions flare as Yu calls the gathering a room full of hypocrites. The conversation shifts to the government compensation money they all hope to split. Yu's eyes narrow as he confirms his relatives are only interested in money. Yu questions where the 180,000 yuan he sends monthly has actually gone.
Caught in her lies, the aunt nervously adjusts her expensive pearl necklace.
Yu accuses his relatives of embezzlement and shameless greed over his father's compensation.
The uncle slams the table, demanding filial piety while ignoring his own corruption. A heavy silence settles as Yu and his uncle face off across the table. Declaring he is finished with them, Yu prepares to leave the house. The greedy relatives swarmed Yu, determined to take his money by any means. They restrain Yu and prepare a spray to force his signature on documents.
The family plans to forge a transfer agreement using used forced fingerprint.
Yu collapses in pain as his relatives mock his suffering over the money.
Yu Baoyuan weeps silently, his face contorted with deep, agonizing emotional pain. The uncle restrains Yu and pushes a young woman to marry him for their skein. Blushing deep, the uncle confirms the woman is prepared to execute their plan tonight. He promises to finalize the wedding if she succeeds in trapping Yu tonight. Despite her hesitation, the uncle threatens to destroy Yu's life if he resists.
Yu collapses on the bed, clutching his abdomen while desperately crying out for help.
Outside the window, Taro meows loudly as Yu catches sight of his loyal cat.
The woman enters the bedroom as Yu lies incapacitated and vulnerable on the bed.
Sweat pours down Yu's pained face as he lets out a sharp, agonized cry.
Yu fights back, but she insists that his relatives have already sealed his fate. She pins him down, ignoring his resistance as he grits his teeth in disgust. A sudden meow sounds as Taro lunges through the window, scratching the woman's neck. The woman screams in pain as the relatives burst into the room to investigate.
Angry and frustrated, the uncle orders the injured woman to leave the room.
The aunt nets the meowing Taro while her son gleefully prepares to torment the cat.
Yu's eyes flare with protective rage as he hears his cat's cries of distress. A ceramic vase breaks with a loud crack as Yu grabs a sharp shard. Driven to desperation, Yu stabs the uncle's leg with the shard, causing a scream.
Enraged, the uncle punches Yu and vows to beat him for his defiance.
After kicking him, the relatives decide to lock the injured Yu in the room. Left alone and bleeding, Yu weeps while protectively holding his pregnant belly.
Gufeng drives through the desolate countryside, searching through the night for Yu.
Gufeng answers a call from Lining while continuing his urgent search.
Lining demands attention, but Gufeng is entirely focused on finding his assistant.
Gufeng questions how Lining knew he was tracking Yu Baoyuan's location.
Lining dismisses Yu, claiming the breakup makes his well-being irrelevant to the CEO. Gufeng falls into a tense silence, reflecting on the weight of their separation.
The CEO questions his own motivations as he continues the search for Yu.
Gufeng realizes he cannot truly sever his connection to Yu Baoyuan's life.
Lining tries to lure him back, but Gufeng remains distant and focused.
Lining offers his complete submission, promising Gufeng whatever he desires at the villa.
Gufeng ignores the manipulative offer, his eyes hardening with a sense of purpose.
Deeply troubled, Gufeng waits in a hallway, overwhelmed by a sense of impending dread. The relatives attempt to block Gufeng from entering the house to hide their crimes.
With a powerful strike, Gufeng kicks the door open to find the truth. Seeing Yu unconscious and bloodied on the floor, Gufeng screams his name in terror. Gufeng waits in agony, praying that Yu Baoyuan survives the brutal ordeal. An assistant informs Gufeng that the cat is safe and reveals the day's horrors.
He presents a forged agreement, explaining that Yu was coerced into signing away his money.
The assistant reveals the malicious leaflets intended to permanently destroy Yu's professional reputation. Gufeng stares at the evidence, realizing the calculated cruelty Yu faced alone. Gufeng orders his assistant to dispose of the leaflets and handle the fallout.
A cold, murderous intensity fills Gufeng's gaze as he contemplates retribution.
The doctor emerges with a somber look, carrying Yu's medical reports.
Gufeng rushes forward, desperately asking for any news on Yu's condition.
The doctor confirms Yu is out of danger but asks for his immediate family.
Gufeng steps up as the doctor details Yu's internal bleeding and abdominal pain.
The truth hits Gufeng like a thunderbolt. He is the one who got Yu pregnant. The doctor informs Gufeng that the patient remains unconscious while anesthesia wears off. Gufeng instructs Anna to arrange a meeting with Chen Lining for later tonight.
Gufeng notices a disturbance as Anna reports a group approaching the hospital ward.
An assistant warns that Yu Baoyuan's relatives have arrived, loudly demanding justice for themselves.
A rowdy crowd of relatives gathers in the hospital lobby, causing a major scene. Putting on a performance, the aunt and the bandaged uncle weep for the cameras. The relatives demand their promised money and search for the flyers they intend to use. The uncle hesitates, feeling intimidated by Gufeng's obvious wealth and high social status. A relative spits in disgust while the aunt insists on exploiting their perceived disadvantage.
Assistant Zhao arrives with police officers to manage the escalating situation in the lobby.
Assistant Zhou sternly orders the relatives to follow him if they intend to cause trouble.
The relatives cry out in protest, accusing the men of bullying their disadvantaged family.
Opening a briefcase full of cash, Assistant Xiao offers to discuss their compensation package. Greed instantly replaces their grief as the uncle eagerly grabs for the stacks of cash. Assistant Zhou politely invites the group into a private room to finalize the settlement.
Overjoyed by the payout, the aunt and uncle praise Gu Feng's sudden, unexpected generosity.
Gu Feng sits silently in the meeting room as the greedy uncle awaits more money. The uncle watches expectantly, hoping to squeeze even more wealth out of the CEO. Gu Feng offers 200,000 yuan, testing the limits of the man's bottomless greed. The uncle pauses, his mind racing as he calculates how much more he can get. Gu Feng dismissively raises the offer, asking if 300,000 yuan is enough.
A satisfied sigh sounds as the uncle settles on a payout of 500,000.
Gu Feng checks his watch, declaring that they must now discuss his own business matters. The uncle looks confused, wondering what kind of business the powerful CEO has with him.
Rolling up his sleeve, Gu Feng reveals scratches and demands compensation for his own injury.
Gu Feng proposes a cruel trade, offering the money if they swallow the metal coins. The uncle is horrified by the demand while Gu Feng signals his men to act.
Following their boss's order, the men force a handful of coins into the uncle's mouth.
Gu Feng berates them for their hypocrisy and for betraying their own nephew for money. A wet, heavy cough sounds as the uncle chokes on the coins until someone interrupts. The uncle begs for mercy, still trying to hide behind his facade as a victim. Gu Feng mocks the man's claims of being disadvantaged with a look of pure contempt. The CEO's anger flares as he vows to protect his people from such malicious bullying. Assistant Zhou reads from a tablet detailing the relative's long history of serious criminal activity.
Anna rushes in to inform Gu Feng that Yu Baoyan has finally regained consciousness.
Gu Feng's stern expression softens with relief as he prepares to visit the hospital ward. The scene shifts to the quiet, sterile hallway leading toward Yu Baoyuan's recovery room.
A sharp clatter sounds as Gu Feng enters the room where Yu lies resting quietly.
Opening his eyes, Yu weakly thanks Gu Feng for rescuing him from his relative's trap.
Yu looks up with concern, asking if his greedy relatives caused Gu Feng any trouble.
Gu Feng informs him that he has already found a way to handle the situation. Yu questions what happened to them, prompting Gu Feng to criticize his lingering protective instincts. Gu Feng explains his plan to ensure the relatives face permanent legal consequences for their crimes. Gu Feng tells Yu to focus only on his recovery and leave the rest to him. Yu sits up in bed looking somber as he considers the depth of Gu Feng's help.
Gu Feng makes a sudden, heartfelt request for Yu Baoyuan to be with him again.
The CEO waits in a moment of heavy silence, hoping for a chance at reconciliation. Yu Baoyan is visibly stunned by the unexpected proposal from the man he just left. Gu Feng looks directly at Yu, repeating his sincere desire for them to restart their relationship. Yu firmly rejects the offer, insisting that their breakup is final and will not change. Gu Feng angrily confronts Yu with the ultrasound, demanding to know why he hid the truth. Gu Feng points at the medical report while Yu remains silent, his expression unreadable and distant. Yu Baoyuan informs Gu Feng they are now even and asks to stay away from him. Gu Feng refuses to let him go while Yu Baoyan curses him under his breath. Gu Feng orders his staff to ensure Yu Baoyan's relatives face legal consequences for their crimes.
Gu Feng reflects in silence, his expression shadowed with a deep, unreadable intensity.
Gu Feng watches over the sleeping Yu Baoyuan with a lingering and protective gaze. Gu Feng's cold promise of better treatment depends entirely on Yu Baoyuan becoming more obedient. The exhausted Yu Baoyuan rests peacefully, unaware of the complex plans being made around him.
A dramatic depiction highlights the complicated bond and tension between the two men.
Gu Feng meets Chen Lining for dinner, prompting the younger man to feel noticeably uneasy. Gu Feng informs Chen Lining about Yu Baoyan's life-threatening accident in his remote hometown. Chen Lining reacts with theatrical concern, questioning why he wasn't informed of the accident sooner. Gu Feng delivers a cold ultimatum, ending his long-standing relationship with Chen Lining immediately. Gu Feng officially breaks up with Chen Lining, arranging for his belongings to be moved. Chen Lining begs for a reversal as Gu Feng offers a lavish settlement to end things. Refusing the payout, Chen Lining demands to know the reason for Gu Feng's sudden change.
A quick motion as Gu Feng reaches into his bag to produce the ultimate evidence.
Gu Feng presents the pregnancy ultrasound as the final reason for his shift in focus. Lining desperately tries to dismiss the pregnancy as a pathetic lie told by Yu Baoyuan. Gu Feng remains unmoved by Lining's insults, his decision to leave becoming final and absolute.
Lining clings to Gu Feng in a desperate embrace, refusing to accept the sudden breakup.
Gu Feng pulls away, describing their relationship as a hollow arrangement that is finally over. Lining pleads with Gu Feng to stay, insisting they belong together despite the cold rejection.
Gu Feng's patience finally snaps as he shouts for the desperate, repetitive pleas to end.
A quick wipe sounds as Gu Feng dismisses Li Ning, offering a final goodbye to the relationship.
Chen Li Ning is left standing alone in the cold silence of the grand dining hall.
Li Ning stares at a photo, stubbornly vowing to remain more important than Yu Baoyuan. A chilling realization hits Li Ning as he reflects on a failed warning intended for Yu.
Back at the hospital, Gu Feng peels a tangerine for a focused, book-reading Yu Baoyuan.
Gu Feng gently tries to feed Yu Baoyuan, asserting his care in a commanding way. Yu Baoyuan stubbornly refuses the fruit, keeping his eyes closed and his distance maintained.
Gu Feng continues his advance while Yu Baoyuan eyes him with clear, growing irritation.
Yu Baoyuan reacts with comical disgust after finally tasting the fruit Gu Feng offered him.
Gu Feng offers his home for recovery, but Yu Baoyuan firmly refuses to return there.
Yu Baoyuan silences Gu Feng's nagging while continuing to eat the fruit he previously insulted.
Yu Baoyuan reminds Gu Feng that their relationship is over and demands clear personal boundaries. Yu Baoyuan bluntly dismisses Gu Feng from the room, citing his overwhelming exhaustion and fatigue.
Gu Feng silently vows to never let Yu go, acknowledging his past mistakes and regrets.
Yu Baoyuan fiercely rejects Gu Feng's interference, insisting his future life is his business alone.
In a moment of levity, the blanket-wrapped Yu Baoyuan tells an annoying Gu Feng to leave.
Yu Baoyuan internally rages against Gu Feng's claims of kindness, refusing to believe his words.
The blanket-swaddled Yu Baoyuan stews in his frustration, looking like a very grumpy small cocoon.
A friendly man with glasses enters the hospital room, warmly calling out to Yu Baoyuan.
Yu Baoyuan invites Dr. Bai to sit as the doctor expresses relief at his survival.
Yu Baoyuan calmly tells the doctor he intends to hold his relatives accountable for everything. Dr. Bai asks Yu Baoyuan if there is anything he can do to help him.
Yu Baoyuan reveals he has a specific plan in mind for his life after discharge.
Yu Baoyuan pulls a hidden set of papers from the hospital bedside drawer for discussion.
Yu Baoyuan declares his intention to leave the group and pursue an independent career.
Yu Baoyuan and Dr. Bai discuss the acceptable costs for a large-scale milk tea bar.
Yu Baoyuan's eyes transform into glowing dollar signs as he prioritizes profits over his health. Well, that is one way to visualize a retirement plan. Dr. Bai vigorously shakes the money-obsessed Yu Baoyuan, lecturing him about the importance of health.
After his playful lecture, a gentle and happy smile returns to Dr. Bai's kind face.
Yu Baoyuan excitedly proposes hiring staff to conduct market trend surveys for his new business.
A panicked man in a black suit bursts into the room searching for Dr. Bai.
Dr. Bai looks at the newcomer with calm confusion, questioning the reason for his sudden fear.
The man, Mang Long, desperately grabs Dr. Bai's lapels in a moment of intense relief. Mang Long admits he feels panicked whenever he is away from Dr. Bai for too long.
Yu Baoyuan watches the dramatic scene unfold between the two men from his hospital bed.
In a chibi-style vision, Yu Baoyuan marvels at how quickly the two lovebirds reconciled.
Dr. Bai introduces Mang Long as his partner, despite the man's somewhat brazen attitude.
Surrounded by floating hearts, Mang Long promises to handle everything if his honey just loves him.
Yu Baoyuan and Dr. Bai reflect on the intense power rivalry affecting Mang Long's family business.
A blushing Dr. Bai tries to maintain his composure while Mang Long affectionately clings to him.
Transformed into a cute cat child, Dr. Bai angrily yells at the persistently annoying Mang Long. After being kicked out, a playful Mang Long peeks back inside to say he will wait.
Yu Baoyuan teases Dr. Bai for acting like a blushing baby around his persistent boyfriend.
A flustered Dr. Bai jokingly threatens to beat Yu Baoyuan if he does not stop talking.
Yu Baoyuan gives a cheerful thumbs up, agreeing to help with the market research questionnaire.
Later, the room is quiet until Anna enters to check on the resting Yu Baoyuan. Anna is delighted to find Yu Baoyuan awake and looking much more alert and energetic.
They discuss distancing himself from the Gu family, regardless of their perceived wealth or status.
Thinking to herself, Anna wonders if the powerful Gu family might actually hide a literal gold mine.
Anna asks about Yu Baoyuan's recent message regarding his ambitious plans to open a new store. Yu Baoyuan places his hand on a thick stock of papers detailing his post-hospital business strategy.
Yu Baoyuan formally announces his firm intention to open a milk tea shop after his discharge. Anna listens with curiosity, wondering what catchy name he has chosen for his future business venture. Tapping his chin, Yu Baoyuan contemplates several cute names for his independent new career path. An imaginative vision depicts a successful partnership between fried duck and milk tea shops. A chibi Yu Baoyuan playfully scolds the visionary as they discuss market investigations and caution.
Anna enters the hospital room again, calling out to Yu Baoyuan with a friendly smile.
Yu Baoyuan reacts with a comical burst of steam, angrily rejecting the cute nickname Anna used.
He demands to know what she plans to do as she approaches his bed.
Anna laughs off his frustration, reaching out to affectionately pat Yu Baoyuan's brown hair.
Scratching his head in boredom, Yu Baoyuan asks if there is any news from the company.
Looking visibly exhausted, Anna explains the daily fatigue of managing difficult and demanding customers.
Anna discusses the heavy workload and new developments that have kept her busy lately. Yu Baoyuan asks to see the latest project situation so he can offer his expert advice.
Reaching into her bag, Anna prepares to pull out the tablet for their work discussion.
Anna shows him a contract and a plan that requires several important changes and revisions.
A close-up view shows a finger scrolling through the data and text on the tablet screen.
Anna's face suddenly drains of color as she reacts with shock to something on the screen.
She quickly hides the device, nervously claiming the content is just some embarrassing private emails.
Noticing his own name on the screen, Yu Baoyuan demands that Anna stop hiding the truth. Anna clutches the tablet tightly, sweating as she hesitates to reveal the upsetting information.
With a worried expression, Anna finally hands the tablet over for Yu Baoyuan to see.
Yu Baoyuan stares at the tablet in stunned silence, clearly horrified by what he is reading.
The screen reveals a malicious article spreading damaging and false rumors about Yu Baoyuan's health.
He scrolls through the text, his expression darkening as he sees a link for more details.
A fraudulent medical report surfaces, cruelly claiming that Yu Baoyuan has tested positive for HIV.
Staring at the tablet in horror, Yu Baoyuan's face contorts with a mixture of shock and fury. Anna stands by as Yu Baoyuan remains frozen, processing the devastating blow to his reputation.
Yu Baoyuan fiercely maintains his innocence, insisting the report is a malicious forgery intended to ruin him.
Anna offers her unwavering support, promising to handle the situation while the brown-haired man recovers.
Yu Baoyuan demands a formal clarification as Anna explains that the technical traces are being carefully hidden.
With a determined expression, Anna agrees to carry out Yu Baoyuan's plan to clear his name.
Working quickly on her laptop, Anna begins drafting the necessary emails to counter the spreading rumors. A crucial detail on the screen highlights a watch being sent for repair, a potential lead.
Yu Baoyuan's eyes narrow as a chilling realization hits him. He finally knows exactly who is responsible. Yu Baoyuan wastes no time and immediately dials Gu Ying to confront her about the slanderous email.
On the other end of the line, Gu Ying questions why Yu Baoyuan is calling her so suddenly.
Yu Baoyuan bluntly accuses her of orchestrating the fake AIDS report sent to the company mailbox.
Gu Ying feigns ignorance, prompting Yu Baoyuan to unleash years of pent-up resentment toward the Gu family.
Delivering a final ultimatum, Yu Baoyuan demands a formal apology or threatens to take her to court. The call ends abruptly, leaving Yu Baoyuan breathing heavily from the intensity of the verbal confrontation.
Yu Baoyuan confirms his suspicions to Anna, declaring his readiness to pursue civil litigation if necessary.
Standing in the hallway, a somber Gu Feng prepares himself for the difficult conversation ahead.
The scene shifts outside as the afternoon sun casts long shadows over the hospital entrance.
After checking himself out, Yu Baoyuan makes a call to arrange his new living situation.
Waiting by his car, Gu Feng smokes a cigarette while watching for Yu Baoyuan to emerge. Gu Feng stops him, promising protection and an apology from Gu Ying if he just returns home.
Yu Baoyuan scoffs at the hollow promise, struggling to pull away from Gu Feng's firm, unwanted grasp.
Refusing to take no for an answer, Gu Feng sweeps Yu Baoyuan up in a forceful princess carry.
Gu Feng stares him down, coldly asking if the brown-haired man feels any embarrassment for his resistance.
The car speeds away from the hospital, taking the two men back toward the Ga mansion.
They arrive at the Grand Estate, a place that Yu Baoyuan never intended to see again.
Inside, the butler welcomes them as Gu Feng carries a struggling Yu Baoyuan over his shoulder. A quick throw sounds as Gu Feng tosses Yu Baoyuan unceremoniously onto the plush living room sofa.
Uncle He brings a bowl of hot soup, explaining that Gu Feng ordered it specifically for him.
Despite his anger, Yu Baoyuan's stomach betrays him with a loud, hungry growl at the savory scent.
A sharp ting rings out as Gu Feng's phone vibrates on the nearby table, demanding attention.
Answering the call, Gu Feng learns that the primary culprits behind the slander have finally confessed.
Gu Feng's expression darkens as he asks for more details regarding the hidden hand behind the case.
He is surprised to hear that an elite lawyer was hired to protect the low-level perpetrators.
After ending the call, Gu Feng faces an indignant Yu Baoyuan who demands to be let go.
Gu Feng ignores the request, commanding the butler to pour another bowl of soup for his guest.
Yu Baoyuan stands his ground, flatly refusing the hospitality and stating his firm intention to leave.
Gu Feng catches his wrist, asserting that this mansion is the only home Yu Baoyuan has left.
Yu Baoyuan rejects the kindness, revealing that he has already found a new apartment for his future.
Gu Feng looks hurt and frustrated, questioning why the brown-haired man is so desperate to run away.
The tense moment is interrupted as a fashionably dressed Gu Ying walks into the main hall. A quick pass sounds as Gu Ying glides past Yu Baoyuan, ignoring him with a haughty air.
Gu Ying clings to Gu Feng's arm, but he coldly demands she explain her role in the scandal.
Gu Ying desperately asks why her cousin trusts a stranger over his own blood relatives. Gu Feng's voice booms as he commands her to apologize for the shameless lies she helped spread. Refusing to bow down, Gu Ying spits out her disdain for the scumbag she believes Yu to be.
Yu Baoyuan laughs bitterly, noting that he will proceed with litigation since no apology is forthcoming.
Gu Feng orders his staff to move Yu's belongings back in, completely ignoring the man's vocal protests.
The argument explodes as Yu Baoyuan accuses Gu Feng of only caring about protecting his family's reputation.
Yu Baoyuan questions Gu Feng's sudden admission of guilt during their tense confrontation.
A soft sniff sounds as the brown-haired man coldly orders his visitor to leave. Looking downcast, Yu Baoyuan remains resolute in his decision to separate from the family. After finishing his packing, Yu Baoyuan tells Gu Feng he is starting a new life.
Gu Feng begs him to stay, but the brown-haired man refuses to be stopped. Lugging his suitcase, Yu Baoyuan finally walks out the door to find his independence. A sharp slam echoes as the door closes, marking the end of their shared chapter.
Yu Baoyuan walks through the large estate gates, leaving the Gu family mansion behind.
Breathing in the fresh air, the brown-haired man looks toward his bright future ahead.
His focus is taken by a sudden, loud slam sounding from the floor above. Looking back at the window, Yu Baoyuan wonders if Gu Feng is having another outburst.
Night falls on the city as Yu Baoyuan settles into his modest new apartment.
Wearing a kitchen apron, Yu Baoyuan feels a sense of sparkle in his new home.
Standing by the window, he reflects on a memorable day while looking at city lights.
At the shop, the glasses-wearing Sheng Sheng complains about handling the heavy work.
A cheerful chibi Meng Meng Long offers to take over the work for his partner.
Sheng Sheng looks on with a soft smile as the dark-haired man takes charge.
Sitting together, Yu Baoyuan expresses his deep gratitude for all the help they provided.
Meng Meng Long and a smiling Sheng warmly accept the man's heartfelt thanks.
In a chibi vision, Yu Baoyuan celebrates the massive budget savings from their new connections.
Meng Meng Long teases the blushing Sheng Sheng about the benefits of their close relationship.
Flustered, Sheng Sheng scolds the dark-haired man and declares they will sleep in separate rooms.
A playful fight breaks out between the chibi couple while Yu Baoyuan watches with amusement.
Resting his head on his hand, Yu Baoyuan feels truly happy with his peaceful life.
Walking home in the dark, Yu Baoyuan carries a small bag of groceries.
He freezes upon spotting a familiar license plate belonging to Gu Feng's car.
Anxiety grips the brown-haired man as he wonders if Gu Feng is following him again.
Relieved to find the hallway clear, he enters his apartment, glad the scumbag is gone.
A pot of hot soup sits boiling on the stove, filling the room with steam.
His meal is suddenly interrupted by a loud, persistent knock-knock sounding at the door.
Approaching the entrance, Yu Baoyuan opens the door with a look of pure shock.
Gu Feng stands there, prompting the brown-haired man to demand a reason for his presence.
Gu Feng explains he is delivering soup from Uncle He, asking to be let in sack.
A tense standoff occurs as Yu Baoyuan tries to keep the persistent man from entering. A final slam sounds as he lets Gu Feng in, who immediately begins looking around. Gu Feng expresses his disdain for the small, modest apartment Yu Baoyuan has chosen.
Yu Baoyuan retorts that he lives alone and doesn't need the luxury of a villa. The brown-haired man commands his guests to leave the items and depart immediately.
As they discuss the soup, Gu Feng asks if he saw the latest company email.
The phone screen reveals Gu Ying's confession about spreading malicious rumors to ruin Yu's reputation.
Yu Baoyuan demands Gu Feng leave, stating he no longer cares what the family does.
Gu Feng reveals his plans to live nearby, leaving the brown-haired man completely stunned.
The two men sit together in awkward silence over a steaming pot of hot food.
Gu Feng promises to treat him better while mentioning his proximity to Yu's mother.
A small, cute meow sounds as an orange cat appears, looking for some attention.
Yu Baoyuan reaches down to offer the hungry little kitten a bowl of food.
Noticing Gu Feng's intense craving, the brown-haired man realizes the other man wants to eat.
Yu Baoyuan tells him to go home if he wants something better than shabby food.
A quick pour sounds as Gu Feng starts eating, surprising Yu with his hunger.
Chopsticks lift a piece of meat from the bowl during their unexpected shared meal.
Yu Baoyuan scolds the hungry orange kitten for starting its meal without any permission.
A pair of hands deftly handles chopsticks over a bowl during the shared meal. Wiping his mouth, Gu Feng admits he deeply missed the taste of this home-cooked food.
Yu Baoyuan watches the dark-haired man with a mixture of annoyance and silent contemplation.
Opening the door, the brown-haired man clearly signals that it is time for his guest to leave.
Gu Feng looks downcast, his eyes reflecting a hidden sorrow as the visit comes to an end.
Gu Feng offers his constant support, but Yu Baoyuan scoffs at the idea of being cared for.
Shock takes over as Yu Baoyuan learns Gu Feng actually bought the apartment right next door.
Despite the shocking news, Yu Baoyan remains firm and demands that Gu Feng leave immediately.
Gu Feng reluctantly agrees to depart, promising to return another day to see him again.
The dark-haired man finally walks out, leaving Yu Baoyan alone in his quiet new home.
Standing in the center of the kitchen, Yu Baoyuan looks lost in his own complicated thoughts.
Reflecting on Gu Feng's persistence, Yu Baoyan questions the man's sudden and intense efforts. A soft meow from the orange kitten interrupts his spiraling thoughts, demanding his attention.
Yu Baoyuan's expression softens as he reaches down to gently pet the small orange cat.
Cradling the kitten, the brown-haired man feels a flicker of warmth amidst his chaotic life.
Looking ahead with a small smile, Yu Baoyuan wonders what the future holds for them both.